generally will be there. Otherwise, if you actually go to the start button down here on the bottom left, you can type in HDD space fix, you're going to see, boom, it came up there. And most people have it listed there too as well. Is what you can do is either on the desktop or here, you can right click on the file and select properties. And what it'll do is it actually lists the executable. This is the name of it, and this RHS, and it's going to be unique to your computer. It just ultimately depends on from all of our testings, it's usually between 8 to 14 characters in length. That's all I can say. Sometimes it's actually in a different location. In this instance, it's in program data. I've seen it more in program data than anywhere else. However, I have noticed it in other folders too as well. So what I can do is I can just copy that location, or Control C, I guess you might say. Copy. Hit the Windows Start button. I'm going to go ahead and go to Computer. And on Computer here, I'm just going to go in and paste that path in. Once I paste that path in, if I actually go down, we're going to see that file right there. And at this point in time, what you can do is you can right click on it. Or was that one? Let me double check. Yep. In this particular instance, it actually is not that. This is a leftover trace from the last time I installed it on the computer. So let me go to the one on the desktop and actually right click on it, hit properties, and it's XWN. And you're going to see here, see how these very similar in nature as it just being gibberish, and it is showing the true path. So this is just from a different time when we actually installed the client. So here's one of them. And this is again a different path, but all you have to do is just rename them. So the ones that are really, really weird, pretty name, just rename it. And we have this one. I'm going to hit rename. Another way to help identify it is today's the 3rd of 2011, and so chances are a lot of the files on the 3rd of 2011 are the ones that you're going to want to remove. So once it's been renamed, at this point in time, is what you can do is you can actually reboot your computer and then come right back here to the exact same path, program data, and then delete the file. Right now, if you were to actually try to delete it, one of these may end up deleting for us. Oh, I can't delete it. Why? Because it's currently in use, and that is while a file's in use, you cannot delete it. So you could also boot into safe mode and remove it and delete it there too as well, because this program will not be running in safe mode. And now another thing that you can do, and we're going to show you this because it's a nice little trick too, is actually in the registry. Go ahead and hit the Windows Start button, type in reg, edit. And I don't recommend most people actually go into the registry themselves. I usually recommend software to you, but Task Manager has been disabled and we need to enable it. And that file path is going to be, I actually have it here already. It's the file path at the top of my screen. And so under H key local machine, software, Microsoft Windows current version policies, system, under system, you go over here and it'll be disable Task Manager. Let me find it. Now if we just double click on that, right here it says the value 1. Value 1 is bad, it actually disables it. So we want a value of 0. And then we're going to hit OK. And this should be done anyways. Now any antivirus client software out there should be able to undo this automatically, and that's how I usually recommend most people do it. I know Spyro Doctor with antivirus does work to remove this threat. Now there's new traces that come out all the time on this particular false scanner, so if it doesn't pick it the first time up, just do another scan, update the program again, and just do another scan, a full system scan instead of a short little one. And that usually tends to work. So now that that's been re-enabled, I'm going to hold Control-Shift-Escape. And you may also need to go under H key current user too as well. Just follow the same path, except for instead of H key local machine, do the H key current user, and go ahead and browse on down there and do the exact same thing as I just did. And what you should be able to do now is once you've changed that value over, you should be able to, as stated before, hold down Control-Shift-Escape and bring up the Task Manager. There you go. There's Task Manager. So now if I look, I actually have a couple instances of this program running. There's the SD HDD, which is going to be the scanner up above. And then if I look at this one, I'm willing to bet that this one right here, Unit Corp, because it's weirdly named too, is probably going to be the one down in the system tray, that X right there, because there's a Windows security alert, quote unquote. Let me go ahead and end that one and see if I'm right. End process. See if any of those ones went away. Yep. So the red X went away. Why? Because that's the trace of it. And let's go ahead and we're going to end this process too. End process. Now that we have the task manager going. Now, if you rebooted your computer, if you already renamed both those traces, that won't show anymore. So end process. Close this down. I'm actually going to jump back over in here and delete those files that I renamed earlier. Now, as stated, you could just reboot your computer, but you make sure you rename both of those files. Delete, yes. Alright, those have been removed there. Now, something else I can do too, to find out what the file trace is actually go under the msconfig and take a look at my startup processes, and I can do that. Start, I'm going to type in msconfig, startup, and if I look here, right there under unknown manufacturer, you see all these weirdly named files. That's just from me installing it multiple times. Now, one of these is going to be for the actual fake client itself, and the other one's going to be that warning in the system tray. Now, if I look at this, it's going to give me multiple different file paths. I already deleted that file, but this just is another way in which you can find out where that file is located. So it's right there, the program data in Progra 3 program data. Okay, just so you know. So, and those are the file paths that we already removed. We already went in there to the program data folder. Program data. And if you can't see it there while browsing on the C drive, just manually type it in, capital P, and then program data. It's because it's a hidden file. And let me just show you how to unhide files, just because. Control panel, we're going to go ahead and just type in hidden. Show files and folders, show hidden files and folders. Just make sure that one's checked. Usually that one is, so just check on that one. Hit apply or OK. And then you will be able to see the program data folder, just because the program data folder is a hidden folder. Program data. And as stated, I already did remove those. Now if I go back over to the system config, just so you can rest easy at night, we're going to show you how to remove this registry key too, just so these aren't showing up anymore. Basically, the registry is saying, hey, when I boot my computer, I want you to find this program and start it up. So what we're going to do is we already removed these files, but now we're going to actually browse down to the location in which they're located and delete those files. Or delete the traces of those files, I should say. So I have my the registry editor open, and we are under HKey current user, software, Microsoft, Windows, current version, run. Let's browse down to that. Microsoft, current version, Windows, current version, run. Should be right here. Yep. And there we go. So, and these are all the weirdly named ones. I'm just going to go ahead and click on them. And that's another file path for you. I'll have it on the removevirus.org website. Delete. Voila, we have fully removed the HDD false security client from your computer. Now next time you boot up, this won't be here too as well. So I'll just hit OK, close that down. And now that you've finally removed, or fully removed, the HDD threat, and we helped you out, what I would like you to do is help me out real quick, will you? Go ahead and go over to the removevirus.org website, and go ahead and just hit the like button for us. That way, it just helps to build up a little bit of user trust. We find that the more likes you tend to have, people actually will trust the content more, and this is the 30th or 40th video that we've put out now. We've helped have almost 1 million views so far to our virus removal guides. And all of our guides show people exactly how to remove the threat. One other thing that you will want to do as well is be sure and run a full virus scan on your computer. I recommend SpyroDoctor with antivirus. You can actually download it from the removevirus.org website too as well. and run a full virus scan. Spyro Doctor with Antivirus also does have a free 30-day trial on it, and what that trial will do is it'll actually protect your computer for 30 days till you can find something else or just purchase it. I use Spyro Doctor with Antivirus predominantly on most systems, and it'll block threats so you don't get infected in the first place. So it's a really good client, and it's one of my favorite out there. Otherwise, if you are looking for an expert to help you remove this threat, I highly recommend onlinecomputerrepair.org. Again, that's going to be onlinecomputerrepair.org. It's a great company based out in California that can remote into your system and fully remove this, as well as a lot of other threats. They're really good at their job and what they do, and they'll remove all viruses and spyware from your computer. That's all I have. Otherwise, if you have questions on the actual removal of this, head on over to the removevirus.org website and just ask your question. Go into the appropriate virus removal guide and wherever that's at, and just under there write in a comment letting us know what you've already tried and what you're stuck on, and we'll be sure and get back to you and try to help you out. Take care.